Good morning, Legion. The countdown to NearCon is on with just over a month to go until the Near community convenes in San Francisco. There will be a virtual hackathon in the run-up to NearCon, as well as a builder side room with a number of technical presentations. Our first story today is straight from Ben Affleck's recent appearance on JRE. He has an interesting take on the role of general models that's worth having a discussion about. We'll roll it right now.
What I see is that, for example, if you try to get ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini to write you something, it's really shitty. And it's shitty because by its nature, it goes to the mean, to the average. And it's not reliable. And I just can't even stand to see what it writes. Now, it's a useful tool if you're a writer and you're going, what's the thing? I'm trying to set something up, or somebody sends someone a letter, but it's delayed 2 days and it can give you some examples of that. I actually don't think it's very likely that it's going to be able to write anything meaningful, and in particular, that it's going to be making movies like from whole cloth, like Tilly Norwood. Like, that's bullshit. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's not. I think it turns out the technology is not progressing in exactly the same way they sort of presented it. And really, what it is going to be a tool. Just like sort of visual effects, and yeah, it needs to have language around it. You need to protect your name and likeness. You can do that. You can watermark it. Those laws already exist. I can't sell your fucking picture for money. I can't. You can sue me, period. It kind of feels to me like the thing we were talking about earlier, where there's a lot more fear because we have this existential dread. It's going to wipe everything out.
Right.
But that actually runs counter, in my view, to what history seems to show, which is adoption is slow, it's incremental. I think a lot of that rhetoric comes from people who are trying to justify valuations around companies where they go, we're going to change everything. In 2 years, there's going to be no more work. Right. Well, the reason they're saying that is because they need to ascribe a valuation for investment that can warrant the CapEx spend they're going to make on these data centers, with the argument that as soon as we do the next model, it's going to scale up and be 3 times as good. Except that actually ChatGPT-5 about 25% better than ChatGPT-4 and costs about 4 times as much in the way of electricity and data. So when they say that's like plateauing, the early AI, the line went up very steeply, and it's now sort of leveling off. I think it's because, and yes, it'll get better, but it's going to be really expensive to get better. And a lot of people were like, fuck this, we want ChatGPT-4, because it turned out like the vast majority of people who use AI are using it as companion bots to chat with at night and stuff. There's no work, there's no productivity, there's no value to it. I would argue there's also not a lot of social value to getting people to focus on an AI friend who's, telling you that you're great and listening to everything you say and being sycophantic. But that's sort of a side issue. I think for this particular purpose, the way I see the technology and what it's good at and what it's not, it's going to be good at filling in all the places that are expensive and burdensome, and then make it harder to do it. And it's always going to rely fundamentally on the human artistic aspects of it.
So as Ben thinks, AI can help as a tool, but it's not specialized enough to truly rival high-quality film. It will also lower the barrier to entry for others to create quality film or art in the future. So the discussion here is very clear. Will specialized fine-tuned models find a place in this dialogue and become relevant when people realize that generic models are simply building for the average? Or will AI actually replace film and art at all, rather than remain a general tool, as Ben stipulates it is today? Our second and final story for today, Elon with 4 large predictions on the future of AI. First, human lifespans will nearly double in the next decade. Second, there will be more robot surgeons in 3 years than all surgeons on Earth today. That is an incredible transformation if true. Third, we may see high double-digit GDP growth. And fourth, money will lose significance and you won't have to save for retirement. Not sure if that's optimistic or neo-feudalistic. If even some of these things happen in the coming years, we're in for a highly transformative decade that's likely to rival changes from the last 200 years. Buckle up. Near is here to make sure that transformation works for you. We'll do this all again real soon.